anything about that property?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
I thought that was over.
Yeah.
Okay, if everybody stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Take it away, Tony.
Yes. Board Commissioner, you ready, Amy?
Just want to make sure you do this one.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yes.
Board of Commissioners moves to approve the June 9th regular meeting minutes.
Second. Roll call.
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
Homeland Security Emergency Management.
Come on up, Ryan. Good news on the front I see this morning.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Try
Yeah.
to stay positive, you know.
I saw a resolution.
Yeah.
Give it a copy of cities.
Okay, a couple things, discussion here. First one is property ownership of the new Marks Towers. We discussed, since we're building these with the American Rescue Plan dollars, that once we build the vertical assets, we'll turn it over to the state of Ohio for maintenance and in perpetuity. So, I don't know if we just wanted to pass journal entry today. It's basically saying is your intent to turn the assets over? Of course, if you have any questions regarding that process.
Yeah, so that's the first that I heard about it when we read that. So tell me what that actually means. I mean, we give it to the state of Ohio, that becomes their asset. They will maintain it as long as that tower's still there.
The Motorola, the physical structure itself, so you have the physical structure and you have the Motorola equipment on the
Right.
structure. The Motorola equipment is also right around $31,000 in maintenance. And then the tower, you know, if you lose a bulb or something happens, it needs to be fixed.
I thought.
Might be infrequent, but
I thought you were going up.
I shimmy up there and shimmy bulbs out, that's fine.
There's
So,
all enough.
yeah. So about 330 feet tall. I don't know if I want to go up these ones. I don't know if I'm physically fit enough, but anyways, they're really the only kind of benefit to retaining the towers is the potential for revenue sources. If we put cell phone coverage on them, there's other people that could put assets on the towers. I don't know if it's enough to want to keep them for the potential for maintenance costs, but in talking with Marsh, and when we turn the assets over, we could possibly work out an agreement to maybe like 60-40. So any revenue they make off the towers,
Oh,
we maybe
okay.
get 40, 50, 70-30.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because I thought that's one of the perks too, the towers is that for the underserved that really has like nothing. They could, you know, we could get some of the internet or broadband companies that
another
could
opportunity.
attach. So,
Absolutely.
okay.
I think there was something else. We're gonna put that in the journal entry. That is our intent, of course, with the federal monies that have been used to build the asset. We have to make sure it's authorized as the U.S. Treasurer. And then we have to do the proper disposal process. So I want to make sure that there's
Yeah.
still other layers that we have to do.
Mhm.
We just want to share of our intent to keep the project moving. So basically, this is pretty much the last answer or question we need to ask before we can really keep the project.
So what about the other towers? Because we had some existing towers, don't we?
Three.
Yeah.
Correct. So we have 3 Mars towers in the county. Those are,
And then we were gonna build a new one out in Garrettsville,
we're building 3 new ones.
or 3 new ones
Yeah,
out. Okay.
one's in Garrettsville, James A. Garfield.
Yeah.
Now, these are proposed, so I want to
Yeah.
make sure there's nothing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because there was a lot of questions that came out of the presentation. So the best opportune locations that we see is Garrettsville schools.
Yeah.
Possibly some ODOT property on State Route 14 Deerfield, and some Hackett City property actually in the northeast, in Suffield Township.
Okay.
So pretty much big parts of the city, just.
So the other towers, do we currently own those or
No,
have those
those
been
are
out to
state
the state? Okay.
Yeah, most counties build the assets and then they'll turn them over.
Yeah, and I had read that somewhere else, I think in Summit, like Summit County's minutes, that that's how they were doing it as well.
Wayne's doing it with the Fred
Yeah.
Edward Tower. So,
Okay.
All right, Board of Commissioners authorize the release and.
Oh, wait, he's got broadband survey.
broadband, that's right.
Oh, apologize. Okay, so discussion, if you remember my presentation.
Yes, we have a copy of the survey.
So we proposed a good idea was to do a residential broadband survey, get the survey, try to get it out to the most local level. I mean, I know for a fact that there's other houses out there that weren't identified in the mapping. So the whole purpose of the survey is to get that information,
Yes.
get the facts behind that information, not just say, I don't have internet, but why don't you have internet? Try to determine that and then get this to our vendor to go, what are we gonna do to fix this?
And you know, Ryan, I thought that when I was reading through this last night, I thought the purpose was pretty explanatory for folks that receive this. Are they receiving this? I'm assuming this is the actual, will they receive the purpose?
Absolutely, everything. So
Okay.
we wanted to keep it short and sweet. You don't want to make it too long. So the nice
Yeah.
educational upfront, kind of explain the project, why we think there's discrepancies, and then 6 questions to really hone in on what the issues are. On page 4, I have a couple highlighted areas because I don't know those answers yet.
Yeah, because I was gonna question why HR was receiving them.
They're not. It's just,
Okay.
I just put it in there as a placeholder, so it could be the PCMA at portageco.com. It could be any, I'll figure out what that website's gonna
I was
be.
gonna say, I think it would be good if it came to you, since you're like spearheading all this.
So with that being said, we'll use the PCMA at portageco.com Outlook address.
Okay.
And then we'll insert a website. So this will also be fillable electronically. You have paper forms, we'll get it down to the libraries, we'll distribute it to the township trustees, we'll put it at town halls. So we're gonna try to get it out to the most local level, but we need our township trustees and village and actually cities too, to help us do that. So, and the 6 questions and hopefully we can actually identify some of those homes. So.
Good.
All right. So we'll need a journal entry.
Yep. We'll do that one first. Board of Commissioners authorize the release and distribution of Portage County residential broadband survey in order to identify in other locations without viable broadband.
Second.
Okay, roll call. Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina? Yes.
Board of Commissioners moves that its intent with Portage County Board of Commissioners upon completion of the new vertical assets towers for the Ohio Multi-Agency Radio Communication System, MARCS, that the assets will be relinquished to the state of Ohio for management and other applicable activities as it pertains in providing the radio coverage for various jurisdictions that utilize the MARCS as primary radio system.
Second.
Roll call. Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina? Yes.
So let's talk about that last one.
That was a healthy journal entry.
That's right. That's all right.
Yeah, so the last one is we're finally got through the 11th hour on some of the Summit County equipment. They've gone through a legal process through Copley Fire, actually. And
Yeah.
this is their termination of lease agreement on equipment. We're actually able to go pick it up. Just from our side of the house, we have to pass a resolution to accept the equipment and the monetary value. And we'll have to go.
Yeah, because I didn't have this last night. I was thinking, I wonder what the value is. I was gonna ask that, but here it was on my list.
Absolutely. I will share that we're also looking at getting a second set out of Harvard, and that'll complete the entire tower. So this is the first set.
What's the life expectancy of the equipment that we're getting?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, sir. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, that was like 1989, 90 that they had that from what I was reading. I think it was in
Assistance of Firefighters grant, so it's probably a little more recent.
No, it was 2013 that they released them.
But the good thing is it'll be the state of Ohio, so if they need to replace the equipment. that'll do it.
Yeah.
Very good. Board of Commissioners accepts the donation of Summit County property to Portage County Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management.
Second.
Roll call. Tony?
Yes.
Vicky? Yes. Sabrina? Yes. You know what I found interesting on this resolution they passed? They said it is, they are responsible for the full transport, the cost and expense to transport it to us. Did you see that? It's on page 2. It's the first paragraph up there. It
Yep.
says removal of property transfer to purchase.
That's one thing I gotta do.
And I know.
Not too far, so that ain't that long.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good. I thought you were the
We're always happy.
Sure you did. Absolutely. You did. Very good.
Yes,
I was all over that.
yes, we really negotiated that. So.
All
that's
right.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Great
Thanks,
job.
Ryan.
Janet? What's for me today? Look at that. Good morning. Oh, look, everyone's got the memo on what to wear today. Brian, Tenlin, all these colors.
I wanted to go blue because it's hot outside.
All right, Janet. Did you want to comment on any of these? I know they're just like normal standard, but standard, yes.
Board moves in accordance with section 305.30 of the Ohio Revised Code, the board's resolution 21-0396, part 9. Board of Commissioners acknowledge and approves the county administrator's approval to: 1, authorize the wage increase for Cheryl Hendricks, utility billing service representative for the Department of Budget and Finance. The effective date is June 13th, 2022, due to the refactoring of the position.
Second.
Roll call. Tony?
Yes.
Vicky? Yes. Sabrina? Yes.
Board moves to authorize the wage increase from Mackenzie Voltaro, Emergency Management Specialist for EMA Department, effective June 13, 2022, due to the update in job refactoring language and compensation plan manual.
Second. Roll call. Tony?
Yes.
Vicky? Yes. Sabrina? Yes.
Board moves and authorize the hire of Dory Vodella, Jobs and Family Service Training Specialist, replacing John Vodella, Portage County Department of Jobs and Family Services. Tentative start date is June 27, 2022. The Board of Commissioners agrees that this hire is contingent upon the applicant passing the required pre-employment testing.
Second. Are they related?
I think husband.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. I was like, is that right or is that type of, okay. Husband and wife. She used to work here and then she left. Oh, okay. Roll call, Amy? Tony?
Yes.
Yes. Sabrina? Yes.
Board moves to approve the anniversary probationary step increase for the following non-bargaining employees. Andrew Gibson, Project Engineer, Water Resources, effective 6/13/22. Alice, did we have to do each individual?
No, do them both,
Sure.
all of them together. Yeah, we did.
Allison Gowdy, Office Manager, Water Resources, effective June 13th, 2022.
Second. Roll call. Tony?
Yes.
Vicky? Yes. Sabrina? Yes.
The board moves to enter the memorandum of understanding between Portage County Board of Commissioners and Portage County Dog Warden and Teamsters Local Union 436.
Second. Did you have any comments or anything? I mean, I saw the exhibits and the addendum and you guys did a great job.
Yeah, that was regarding changing the after hour
After all
calls.
calls?
Yeah, no, and I read through it last night and it was pretty spelled out. So good job.
Yeah. Thank you.
Roll call, please. Tony?
Yes.
Vicky? Yes. Sabrina? Yes.
Thank you, Janet, for making that short and sweet.
All right. Jobs and Family Services. Morning.
Good morning, ladies.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Is it chilly downstairs?
It is.
Is it-
Well, and certain our ends, there, you know, the air was there for a little bit, so the one end is bad.
Okay.
Hurts really. It's circulating. We're gonna see how it works out.
Okay.
So, as you know, or as you see coming through, we've had a retention issue, as has many systems. And so we came together with our AFSCME 1696 union in a financial reopener week before last. And we solidified a number of agreements with the goal of retaining staff and also recruiting staff and thanking staff that oftentimes put their selves at risk when they're out in the field and working with vulnerable populations. So before you, I present a resolution to accept an addendum that I did not get in it originally, but I sent through, I think, yesterday, and it highlights some of the things that we've agreed on for this year in 2023. I'm happy to go over a couple of those if you'd like me to.
I think that's what we went over.
No, I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty spelled out. And I saw that, because I was thinking, why are we doing two portions for the retention bonus? But then it's like every 6 months, you're going to do it twice. Once July 1st, whoever has met 6 months, and then you're going to do it 6 months later.
Thereafter, but for one employee will receive one.
Yes.
Yes. Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
I hope this does what
It's
it's
intended.
intended to do.
I do too. And today is our job fair or open job fair at OMJ. So we heard some really good stuff about that. So I'm hoping we get some employees there. So thank you.
The Board of Commissioners moves to accept and enter the amendment to the 2022-2024 collective bargaining agreement between Portage County Board of Commissioners and Local 1696 AFSCME, and if there's abbreviations, they say, just tell me, and Ohio Council 8 for the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal AFL-CIO on behalf of Portage County Jobs and Family Services with a Heroes Bonus Retention Incentive beginning available for Portage County Jobs and Family Services.
Second. Roll call. Tony?
Yes.
Vicky? Yes. Sabrina? Yes.
Thank you so
Thank you.
very much
Thank
for
you.
all of your
Hope
support.
this is beneficial.
Thank you so much for your support.
Yep.
All right.
Joe, good morning, Joe.
Thank you.
Take care. Good morning. Joe.
So for the first two, the first one, is pretty standard. Do you guys have any questions on this?
No, I did not.
Board of Commissioners moves in accordance with section 305.30K of the Ohio Revised Code, the board's resolution 21-0396, the board's resolution 21-0878. The Board of Commissioners acknowledges and approves the county's administrator to approval to direct the county auditor to pay and process the June 9th, 2022 bills, ACH payments, wires, journal vouchers, and then and now is applicable contingent upon the verification of the report as presented by the county auditor and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second.
Roll call, Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to process the June 9th, 2022 budget amendments as reviewed and recommended by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second.
Roll call, Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes. All right, and then we got your resolutions.
So the first two is just making new funds, and the third one is juvenile court got a grant to buy iPads,
Mhm.
and it's a reimbursable grant, so we have to give them money upfront. So it's just in advance,
Yeah.
and we'll get it back.
Speaking of juvenile court, I was at an event last night with Judge Smith, and she got notified at the end of the day that they are going to fund her CASA program entirely next year, $300 and some thousand. She was so ecstatic.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, she just found out at the end of the day, so she's pretty excited.
That is exciting.
Yeah, so a mental note for you.
Yes. And then the last one, the prosecutor's office is wanting to transfer one of their staff from general fund, prosecutor's fund, over to the following fund for the rest of the year. It's just, sorry, I come right, I'm talking. It's just to, it makes me easier for the grant reporting, for reporting.
Okay,
So I'm not asking for more money, it's just to transfer.
Just a move.
Yeah.
that's good.
Resolutions. The board moves to create Fund 4258 Newton Falls Bridge replacement.
Second.
Roll call, Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to create Fund 4259 Talmadge Road Section MN resurfacing.
Second.
Roll call, Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves a cash advance from Fund 0001 General Fund to Fund 1132 COVID probation.
Second.
Roll call, Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to transfer Fund 0001 General Fund to Fund 1480 VAWA.
Roll call, Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Major Lambert. Sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys.
You brought your toys with you.
I brought all kinds of stuff, so we'll just.
Our techie.
You want to take a minute to set up or take out whatever it is you want?
Sure.
Yep.
All right.
Larry, how are you this morning?
I'm here.
Do we want to go ahead, Larry, and talk about, do you have any discussion on renaming the drug task force with Darren Sutton up?
Sure, wait, what?
I don't know. It's on here. It says discussion.
Could you tell us why you're renaming it?
Even before Sheriff Zerkowski took office, we had talked about a rename for the sole purpose of kind of a different focus, a different avenue, a different way to go. That was always met with resistance because nobody wanted to make a change. The sheriff came in, we sat down, we had discussions. The sheriff reviewed what was going on in the task force. My thing was that at some point in time, and we've been rejected on grants before because it's so focused on one thing. So by renaming it and changing that name to Drug and Violent Crime, it gives us a broader scope. Okay, it gives us more ability to apply for grant money and hopefully get it.
Okay.
And, there's been so many times that we've applied for grant money and we're so restricted, just strictly about drugs, but it's not just about drugs, it's about drugs, which leads to violent crime, which leads to rape, robberies, homicide, burglary. So why do we not take advantage of that and try to do the rename? And, when the sheriff comes in, he's got some better ideas, newer ideas, and let's go with it. Let's move with it and let's do it. And why the name will change. It's no big deal.
No, it's gonna be a big deal though.
Okay.
It's gonna be good for you
It's
guys.
gonna bring you more money, right?
Right. Well, we
That's all
hope-
we hear about. Money, money, money. Bring more money in. Okay.
Joanne will be bringing that resolution today later. Yeah.
Okay.
To change the year behalf.
Excellent. Thank you.
And then Darren, you just let us know when you're ready.
Yeah, the equipment's firing up. If you want to go ahead and start the discussion, I don't know if you just want to start with questions for me.
Let's start with a little bit of discussion, how we got to where we're at. We talked about the body cams.
DARIO hours.
Are we also gonna discuss dash cams too?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it kind of comes as a package.
Okay.
It's not really beneficial for us just to have body cams.
Yeah.
Because as I'm sitting in my car, my body cam is watching my steering wheel.
Yeah.
Okay, where if I'm in my car and something is going on, I have the body or I have the dash cam then that picks up
Yeah.
what the body cam says.
Well, I just asked because on discussion, I only had body cams. So that's why I'm like, are we gonna consider dash cams too?
Yeah. And,
That was very.
and the other thing we've talked about is, hey, it was body cams versus dash cams before. I listened to the presentation and times have changed.
Yeah, so as I think all of you know, I was the chief over at Streetsboro PD prior to retiring back in 2020 and getting on board with GTAC. I'm a big believer in body cam and dash cams together just because of the different perspectives they give you. So I always use the traffic stop as an example. I think we talked about that last week, but on a traffic stop, the body cam gives you that in the window of the car talking to the person that you're with. But the dash cam gives you that overall picture of everything that's happening at the scene. So if, you're up at the driver's window and something happens, maybe a passenger jumps out, or maybe there's a crash or something else around the cars, that car gives you that perspective. And then like Larry said, if you're running emergency response to a call, your body cam is just looking at the steering wheel where your dash cam gives you that full perspective. And finally, we have a camera in the back seat of the car that allows you to record everything that happens with the prisoner in the car as well. Yeah. So the idea is you want everything in an incident on camera. So your interaction with the subject, if you have to make an arrest, you want to be able to have that on camera as well. So you put them in the back seat of the patrol car, you have that on camera. Once you get them back, go ahead.
No, I just shut it off.
And once you get them back to the station, then, back to the jail or wherever you bring them, all that is then on camera as well. So you want to try to keep that interaction from beginning to end on camera. So that's why body cams in cars are very important.
Okay. And then, as far as the quote goes, was it like for 5 years, like, a contractual? Is that what the quote came in? I know you're more techie,
Yeah.
Darren, versus the actual sales part, so.
Well, the quote came in and the quote included storage.
Mhm.
Because everything goes to the cloud. It
Yes.
includes the storage for a year. The quote includes all the equipment that we need. And it also has a 24-month refresh
I believe that's what he quoted with a 24-month refresh.
where they refresh the equipment.
What does that mean? Where does refresh mean?
Update.
Update.
Yeah.
So whichever body cam, if we're looking at this body cam, body cams typically you're going to get a good 3 years out of a body cam. But the problem with body cams is they depend on their battery internal. And we all know, we've used cell phones for a long time. You get, great cell phone battery for a couple of years, and then that battery starts to degrade after a while. So that's why we do a refresh, is to allow you to be able to refresh that equipment, mainly because of battery life.
And sometimes like the ports and stuff go bad from.
Yeah. Honestly, with these body cams, they're built to be rugged, they're waterproof, and we used the 2nd gen at Streetsboro. The 3rd gen wasn't out back when I was over there, but we had these cameras. By the time I retired, we had them over 3 years, and I had never sent one back for service. That's how rugged they are. They been dropped on, concrete. They've been, involved in tussles and things like that. And we never had to send one back. So they're very rugged. So you don't really have to worry about ports and water and things like that. It really does come down to battery.
And Darren, correct me if needed, but wasn't Streetsboro one of that was the first department in our county to actually get body cams?
We were. So we got body cams in 2015 under a different vendor that we were using at the time. Those body cams were not working the way we wanted them to. So we started looking for a different vendor and landed on GTAC, and we switched over to their body cams in 2018.
Now, are most of the law enforcement agencies in the county, are they on GTAC? Are they divided between you and
Yeah.
someone?
So
Or-
right now, pretty much everybody in the county, every agency in the county is a GTAC customer with the exception of a couple of the villages. I think Manaway, Hiram, and Wyndham are not at this point. But all the larger communities are GTAC, or Streetsboro. I think we were the first. Since then, Brimfield, Ravenna, Aurora, Kent State, Neomed, they're all customers of GTAC now.
Are the smaller townships, is it cost prohibitive or what?
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's a cost
I
feature.
would think they would get a better price the more, since other parts of the county are.
Well, Garrettsville is a customer of ours, but I just think it's a budgetary thing for some of the smaller villages, so.
And we looked at the smaller camera for their jail staff, because our jail staff is one-on-one with inmates every day. And as you all know, several years ago, we had that $17 million lawsuit, which, if you have, your guys and girls are wearing body cams when they're confronted and walking into jail situations, it's a safety issue, it's a liability issue, so it protects the office. And I know there's been a lot of question about why the sheriff hasn't applied for grants in the past on this, and in looking back, we've on 2 different occasions applied for grants for body cams and have never been awarded any money for body
Is that
cams.
because of the way it was written or the
I think
name?
a lot of it had to do with the fact that it was not just looking at body cams, but looking at body cams and storage and electronics.
Okay.
And the grants were more directed toward just purchase the cameras. and stuff.
Because there's a lot of money out there right now for body cams. And I talked to one of the other chiefs in the county, and they were saying that they were with GTAC and they had done a 5-year contract. It was like 200 and some thousand, but then they had got a grant that offset it considerably. So I'm sure this is something that we can take a look at, not only going forward with grants, but I would assume we check with Allison, possibly about.
Allison has been made aware and she will work with the sheriff's department. Also, Corsa, our insurance company, will reimburse up to a certain amount, regardless of its dash cam, body cam storage as well.
Yes.
They will reimburse up to, I think, $300 per camera,
Yes.
something along those lines. Of course, there's a limit, but there's money out there. We just, it's a reimbursement as well. There's,
So Larry, what's the quote? What's the bottom line for the quote and how long is it? Is it for 5 years or?
If you could break it down between deputies and COs.
So, can't break it down.
Okay.
No, it doesn't matter. I just need the bottom. Maybe on the last one.
Well, I had a couple different things. $411,886.
And that's for 5 years? Do we know?
That's for the life of the camera. So as long as
So I think typically the quotes are broken down into equipment and then cloud storage and then warranties. So equipment is a one-time purchase, obviously.
Yeah.
And then, which would include, if you go with a refresh program, would include that. And then your cloud storage is going to be yearly. So that's
Okay, so
based.
maybe that's what I'm thinking of, is the
Yes.
cloud storage.
storage is,
And then again, that all depends also between the vendor, but also the sheriff's retention policy as to how long they keep. Because I know I talked to a couple of different people, and some of them, they only store it out in the cloud with their vendor for like a year, and then they store it in-house on an in-house server. Then I talked to someone else that it's basically out in the cloud for as long as they need it.
We try to make it simple for the departments to not have to offload to an on-house server. We want everything remaining in our environment. One, because of chain of custody issues. And two, so that, you know, we use Microsoft's Azure government cloud. So it has all the CJIS credentials and security and compliance. So we try to ask customers to keep everything on our cloud as much as possible. And we try to work with customers on making sure they have the right retention periods in place to make that work for them. So, you know, we typically set up retention periods so that minor incidents you're only keeping for maybe 90 days or 180 days. Major incidents, you start going into years on how long you keep them, and we can do things indefinitely, depending on what it is. So.
And Darren, you talk about there's other vendors out there that also provides this. How hard is it for us if we switch to a vendor somewhere down the road to access stuff that's on your cloud?
So
we still have access.
So we like to tell you that your data is your data. We're not going to go back and charge you a lot of money. It's not our data, it's all yours. So the data is there. If you did need to get it off, we will assist in making that happen. So.
Okay.
You said, well, the prosecutors for a chain of custody of it or somebody losing it, as soon as somebody logs on, it says who logged on and when they did that?
Yeah, so there's an audit trail of everything that happens in the system, and the administration will be able to run reports and find out, you know, who's logging in, where they're logging in from, what they've done in the system while they're in it. So there's a full audit trail of everything that happens in the system.
Larry, that 411,000 plus, is that for just the equipment or for everything?
That's for everything.
Everything.
For, you know, us to have run the cameras, the body cameras.
Okay.
The chargers, the docking stations to upload to the cloud. So that's in the storage for, I think it was 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then the refresh,
And the
right?
refresh
every
is
two-
part of that.
every
Every
2
2 years. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. I haven't seen a quote, but my guess is the way they usually structure it is that would be for year one. And then you would have a different quote for year 2, year 3, based on
Here,
just
can you see
storage.
that quote real quick?
I think there's an annual fee, right, in the
Yeah.
40,000 range, I think, for
Something.
the yeah,
Is that just for maintenance?
pretty much, and in storage, right? That covers the storage.
Correct.
We are already a customer of QTech. We've used the same system.
And their
It's
interview
both
rooms.
our interview rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, here again, in looking at several different vendors, you know, since we're already a customer of GTech, interview was done, you know, it's a great system, it works. Looking at some of the other vendors, they're more proprietary and then you get stuck with their equipment. And
As far as the cost, are they like a government vendor? We don't have
They are.
to.
They are on the state bid.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we don't have to
Yes.
put it out. Okay, okay. And the sooner the better for this stuff. I think. Okay, I don't have any other questions. Vicki, do you have any?
One thing is I just want you spoke about the download time and the things that we're going to have to do with it, whoever your vendor is out at the sheriff's office. That line,
well, I think that when you start talking about download, you know, the bandwidth for, you know, is it how is
the amount of data.
to be able to handle the data, you know, because you figure with 5 guys coming off the road, people with their shifts, or 6 guys or 7, whatever, they got their cameras, and then that stuff starts to download to the cloud.
Mhm.
So how much data are we going to be sending? How long is it going to take to send that data? And I know I've talked to Lloyd.
He said behind you, shaking said yes.
Yes. Yes.
You snuck in here.
He snuck in. So, I mean, those are things that, you know, that are important too,
Right.
so.
So Lloyd, I mean, I had a meeting, they said your concern. What if 5 deputies come in at one time, start downloading in our system? What could that feasibly do to the system without making changes?
There's some questions I can answer and there's some that I can't.
Okay,
I'm just gonna say that right up front.
I'm meeting with Darren after this and also with another member with the GTAC squad to try to answer those questions as the earliest that we can get together and meet. But yeah, download is a concern. The bandwidth down there at the sheriff's department is 100 meg up and 100 meg down. So the concern of having
Multiple.
there's about 174 cameras altogether in this package, all going through one data portal, possibly at max, downloading data through that one pipe. Now, it depends on distribution, on when and at what time they're coming through that portal, downloading data. So Larry's given me his policies on how they're capturing data, but I'll be talking it through with the GTAC people as to, you know, their averages on how much data might possibly get recorded per shift. And then doing calculations on our side as to how much data, you know, will be on the body camera, how much data gets stored in each individual device, how long that gets retained, doing those calculations, and then talking with our vendor, AT&T, to see how that transfer rate will go, and then giving you those answers. So I can't answer the questions right now, but I can tell you that we are working on those things. So,
And another avenue to look at is, again, some of your partners here in the county, like Streetsboro and like Kent. Kent's probably a little closer as far as the amount of data they use. You know, as to how much data they're using per shift, as far as offloading video. At Streetsboro, when I left there, we had 100 up and 100 down that we were sharing with the entire city. And we did not find any issues with uploading any of our video. With that being said, too, the other thing we would discuss is that you're going to have a connection from the cars to their routers in the cars. So most of the car data is going to be offloaded through the over the cellular network. So most of your car video is not going to offload to the county network. It's going to be through Verizon, or whoever you're using as your vendor. So it's mainly body cam video that you would be seeing offloaded from the stations. At Streetsboro, we never had an issue. I know it can't. They brought in a new connection right before we set them up, and they have not had any issues over at Kent. So everything's working well for them. So those are a couple, and then we do obviously have a lot of other very large customers around the country that are not having issues in offloading. So as long as you have a decent bandwidth on your connection, I'm sure we can make it work.
Excellent.
And one of the things that we looked at too was the fact that a lot of our guys are taking their cars home. They can take their body cam out, get home, put it in the dock, and they can upload to the cloud that body cam right from their home. So, courthouse is going to do the same thing. They're going to upload from the courthouse, which is going to come through this county server. The jail is going to upload from the county server from the sheriff's office, because those personnel are going to be a shift change. They're going to be swapping out. So.
All right.
Awesome.
All right.
Anything
Thank
else?
you.
Yes.
Darren?
Thank you, Jared.
Thank you very
Good to
much for
see you
coming in.
again.
It's good to see you too. Good to see
You were flying someplace and just getting back?
I was in Rhode Island and flew back yesterday. So I got back yesterday afternoon. So, and then I'll be headed to Minnesota. So
Thank you for coming in. Larry, thank you for coming in.
All right. Thank you.
See you guys.
Joanne. Yeah.
Hey, Larry, can you please make sure that Joanne gets a copy of that quote?
Sure will.
Yeah, let's do miscellaneous for Joanne. Tony, you want to do miscellaneous?
Board of Commissioners moves in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 325.07. The Board of Commissioners acknowledge the receipt of the monthly record of the proceedings and transactions of May 2022 as presented by the Portage County Sheriff's Department.
Second. Roll call. Tony?
Yes.
Yes.
Sabrina? Yes.
Board of Commissioners acknowledges the receipt of the Portage County Investment Reconciliation for the month of May 2022, received June 8th, 2022, as presented by the County Auditor and County Treasurer.
Second.
Roll call. Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina? Yes.
Board moves in accordance with the ORC Section 325.07. The Board of Commissioners acknowledge the receipt of the Portage County's Sheriff's Transportation Prisoner Report of May 2022, presented by Portage County Sheriff's Department.
Second.
Roll call, Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina? Yes.
Board of Commissioners moves to acknowledge the receipt of the June 8th, 2022 notice from Faith Lyons and Teresa Nelson, Portage County Board of Elections, indicating the Board of Elections will be open to the public in preparation for the August 2nd, 2022 primary election as follows. Tuesday, July 5th, 4:30 to 9 p.m. Wednesday, July 6th through Friday, July 8th, 4:30 to 5 p.m. Monday, July 11th through Friday, July 15th, 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday, July 18th through Friday, July 22nd, 4:30 to 5 p.m. Monday, July 25th, Friday through Friday, July 29th, from 4:30 to 7 p.m. Saturday, July 30th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sunday, July 31st, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday, August 2nd, 6:30 a.m. through 8 a.m. and 4:30 till election is completed.
We'll do the addition.
In addition to these hours listed above, we will be open beyond the regular business hours and conduct election official training for the following dates and times. Thursday, June 23rd, 5 p.m. Training completed at 8:30 p.m. Monday, July 11th, 5:30 p.m. Training completed at 8:30 p.m. Saturday, July 16th, 8:30 a.m. Training is completed at 12:30 p.m.
Second.
Roll call, Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina? Yes.
Board of Commissioners moves received the notice in the matter of allocations of the local government fund of several participating subdivisions, Portage County, Ohio, for the year of 2024 under the provisions section 5747.53 of the Ohio Revised Code as presented by the Portage County Budget Commission. The board and further authorize departments and budget financial management director Joe Harris is representative on the committee.
Second.
Roll call, Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina? Yes.
Board of Commissioners moves to acknowledge the receipt of the Kendall Deposition Report Intake Report, May 30th, 2022 through June 5th, 2022, is presented by Chief Dog Warden Dave McIntyre.
Second.
Roll call, Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina? Yes.
Board of Commissioners moves to acknowledge the receipt of the June 13th, 2022 certificate of the county auditor that the total annual appropriations of each fund does not exceed the official estimated resources for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2022, as presented by the Portage County Auditor's Office.
Second.
Roll call, Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina? Yes.
Resolution, the Board of Commissioners moves to appoint David Ginn, Portage County Area Regional Transit Authority, PARTA, Board of Trustees, representing the middle section of Portage County.
Second.
Roll call, Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina? Yes. Okay. Going on our way? How about the public comment from county administrator? Joanne's here.
There she is.
Good morning.
How is everyone today?
How are you?
Oh, well, we're hanging in there. Everybody's gone today, so Mike's holding down the fort.
Oh,
Everybody's everywhere else. Okay, that's the first two. I think we have the project updates.
Awesome.
Okay, we got them all. Pass them down.
Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's not that much that's new on it.
I gave you the pricing for the first one is the auditor's floor. After she finally decided all the different things that she wanted to kind of have to do. It was broken down into 4 different kind of areas, 4 different kinds of prices for painting, carpeting, the bathroom renovations, and the last one was she would like to have a door installed, kind of like what you guys are doing here to fob into her floor. Because I think they've noticed that there's been, you know, when the building is open like that, anybody can get off and get into the areas when there's not more security.
And just
So
walk
that's what
around.
she's looking for. Yeah, yeah. So that, we got those prices for you. The Board of Election has requested paint and carpeting, and the vendors have gone out there to kind of look to see what they're looking for. We don't have those prices yet. And then finally, the last one was the access control system for the entrances in the administration areas at the jail, Justice Center. And that's on hold for your approval and funding. So I don't know if you guys are ready to do anything on those, or if you just want to keep them on this as a placeholder for a while.
Joe, do you have any comments on this? I mean,
Yeah, as far as funding,
I mean, I think that we need to spread out, different departments throughout the years, throughout like the next couple of years. I know this year we did, treasurer's office and for Fisher's office. I just think we need to spread it out over the course.
so hold off on like the auditor's request then, is what you're saying for that, because that's pretty substantial. Plus, we're gonna be getting a new auditor in, so I would think maybe they would
Mhm.
wanna
Yeah.
do it.
and the Justice Center,
Even if the auditor's office, and we've all had that discussion up here about the security, I think that that's something that we would put forward before we do the other things, that a matter of security and confidentiality of the auditor's office and people not being able to walk around and
Yeah,
go to somebody's desk. I'd like to see that broken down into that as security and then everything else is aesthetic.
so that's the 29,939 counting.
That would be that one.
yeah, request for door installation and
Okay.
elevators.
You know, if we're going to do something when we can, that I would put that forward.
Yeah, so Joe, can you find our funds for the security up there? And then the other stuff we can hold off or spread out. for you.
Okay, I want to be able to go back to her and let her know.
Right.
And then what are you deciding on the Justice Center, fobbing system they'd like to have?
I think they need that out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's even
Yeah.
more secure. Are you
Yeah.
talking at Judge Smith or the sheriff's office?
Sheriff's
Just that, okay.
Yeah.
So that one, we're gonna look.
Yeah, we
we'll look
can
for funds for
do,
that As well.
do
Okay.
that one,
Okay.
and then the Board of Elections and that, we can probably hold off on
Right.
too, because we
Once we get
just spent a
pricing-
ton of money.
Yeah, once we get pricing, then you can make your decision. I don't know how much it's gonna be at this juncture, so. Okay, great.
Right.
Love that. Love to spend money. Okay. All right, so you can now, I'm kind of deciding that maybe I'm gonna change my first name to Flo. Because I'm doing it. I like it. And I
Get some
just,
red
I'm,
lipstick.
you know, and I'm getting better at it, I gotta say. So there's one for each of you. James Beckers, this is the process of how an agreement comes around. I couldn't put it any smaller because it's kind of wordy, but in other words, but I
I
think
can read this. Thank
I think
you.
you can say, I think you can tell exactly what I tried to do. So when agreements come in, there's a couple of things. We either get them as a result of a bid, a request for proposal, or request for qualifications that we send out per the revised code and get all that kind of stuff back in on. Or it comes in from an outside vendor directly via their department. So for example, come into, let's say it comes into my department and I know it's something that we have either done in the past or that it's something that is normal processes within the department. So the first thing that I end up doing is getting the, looking at it. If there's any kind of question that I have on the legality as to the form, that kind of thing, I send it to the prosecutor for a pre-review. And then once it comes back, we kind of start with bullet number 2 here, where it comes back already completed by the outside people. They've signed it first. Then we put it in and I do a resolution and bring it to you guys to see if you want to enter into an agreement or to consider entering into the agreement. So the next bullet over is that you have the decision to vote yes, to vote no, or to table. So the little green box is if you decide to table it, it's generally because you need more information. And so then we, you know, Amy a lot of times sets up an appointment with somebody to come in and just, you know, the person, the department to come in and talk to you and say, this is why we want this, blah, 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 blah. All right.
How is that again?
Pardon me?
How is that again?
Blah, 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 blah. You didn't know that?
She added a block.
I don't know how many did I say that time. You did get it, just kidding. And the red box is my favorite course because it's that one. If it's a no vote, if it doesn't get passed by you, then we're done. It doesn't go anywhere except back to the department and they've got to reconsider, redo, or whatever. So then all of the blue follows the kind of format, if you will, flow again, that we've done in years past. If it's a yes vote, and at least by 2 commissioners, you get, you know, the resolution is done. It gets sent down to us by Amy. We attach it to the agreement. We assign a contract number, and then we enter it into Munis, especially if it has funds attached to it. So then the very first person that gets it, obviously, is Janet Esposito. She certifies the funds and says, yes, you're right. It's in our financial system and the money is tied up at that time. So it can't be used by someone else or it can't be forgotten. And then all of a sudden we're coming at the end of the year and, oh my God, it didn't get encumbered right or something didn't happen. And now we're looking for money. Mm-hmm. So then once it gets done there, we go ahead and then it comes back to us because we keep a spreadsheet right now every time we have that and it goes to a different person so that we know at any given time where it's at. Otherwise, we lose track.
Yeah.
So when Janet sends it back to us after she certifies it, we send it on to the prosecutor's office for their approval as to form. The majority of the time, because I've kind of vetted it beforehand, and if I see something quirky, I point it out to them before that all goes. And if not, then they still have the review at the end. And if there's something that they find, again, it kind of stops when I go back to the contractor and say, look, you've got to change this. The prosecutor doesn't like that or whatever. And we get that all straightened out so that when it finally comes to you folks, it's been through the auditor, it's been through the prosecutor, and you guys have the option then at that point to either sign the agreement or not sign the agreement. And if it's signed by at least 2, when it comes back down to me, I get it out to the originating contractor, vendor, department. If it would come down and there would be only 1 signature, it stops and goes
I
nowhere.
wish I had this day one.
From what?
When I started.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, it's a good idea. It's great.
I think it can be used for,
Yeah.
you know, ever until you
Yeah,
want to change the
absolutely.
processes. So I wanted to lay it out a little bit for you, and if you've got questions or something, don't hesitate to throw them at
No,
me.
this is really good. And then we'll have to keep this in mind, next year when we get a new commissioner in, because I think this is.
Need a new commissioner packet. You know, when you think about it,
We're working on that. Actually, new manager packet, but yeah.
you know, it is a good idea. And like I said, since you guys are looking at this and I'm sensing approval of it,
Mhm.
Oh,
One of the things I talked to Michelle about is I'd like to get this out to our department directors.
that would be great.
So that they're aware. I mean, the majority of them, because we work
Mhm.
closely together, it seems like they have it, but you know, a picture is worth 1,000
Yeah.
words.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So,
This is
That's
very.
great.
all right,
Thank
great.
you.
And you can send the resolution to us at the same time you're gonna.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and I do have just one question.
Yes.
Are you guys good? What about labor contracts? Would you take care of labor contracts as well, or is that going to come through human resources?
In the past, it's been done both ways. And, you know, we have sometimes it had come down through me and our department and other times directly from HR, or sometimes the department would
Under
bring
the
it into you
departments,
guys.
yeah.
If it was me, and this is just me talking, it would be great if every agreement,
It's
whether it's
consistent.
labor or whatever, follows the same process, and then everybody's on the same page. But that's gonna be your call. If you
Keep it
say
simple.
that, then we shall make it happen.
Yeah, keep it simple.
I mean,
It's great.
you're gonna talk to your directors on the labor stuff anyway, but the actual process and the signing of the agreement, I think it's not ever a good idea for anybody to come into you and say, oh, by the way, can you sign these while I'm here?
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what we're trying to get away from, so,
Yeah,
all right,
very good.
I will get that going then. That sounds wonderful. Now we have a bunch of resolutions.
Tons of resolutions.
Yeah,
All right, thank you, Joanne.
you're welcome.
Very good.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Board of Commissioners moves to approve plans, specifications, and estimated costs and the setting the date and time for acceptance of bids, construction project number 122-020, Western Reserve WWTP sludge truck in Portage County Regional Sewer District, Nelson Township.
Second,
Roll call, Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Sabrina? Yes.
Board moves to approve plans, specifications, estimate, cost, and setting the date and times for the acceptance of bids, construction for project number SH 221-140, 2021 sanitary sewer maintenance program, Bolingbrook, Portage County Regional Sewer District, Portage County, Ohio.
Second,
Roll call, Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Sabrina? Yes.
Board moves to set the request for proposal benefit bridge pilot program services. What is that?
This is a new program by Kelly Jo. And to be honest with you, I have not read the whole RFP myself.
Yeah.
I thought that she may have broached the subject with you folks.
That's
on what
That's
the
what it
program was.
bridges, like foster kids that go out. It bridges, like 18-year-olds that
Yeah.
age out
They
of
age out.
foster care.
That was a couple weeks ago.
And the minute, they turn 18, then they have no place to go because they're out of the system, so.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Motion made?
There's a second.
Second,
Okay, roll call, Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to accept fee proposal for Quality Control Inspector, Inc., the construction administration services of 2022 roadway construction administration contract.
Second,
Roll call, Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to accept proposal of OHM Advisors and enter into the agreement for providing various professional engineering services.
Second,
Roll call, Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to amend resolution 22-0302, approving plan specifications and date for accepting bids of the 2022 405 resurfacing project.
Second,
Roll call, Tony?
Yep.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to declared unused excess property owned by Portage County and set the bid date for the sales and real estate of Brady Lake Park allotment, Iroquois Matter.
Second,
Roll call, Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
So what is the cost of the Buckeye Energy? Is there, that's the next one on there? Is there a cost set with that?
Not to the county.
Okay.
They add, there's a percentage that is added into the local people.
Okay.
It's what I understood, and that is
For the aggregate.
.00005 kilowatt.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Board moves to enter an agreement for the opt-out electrical aggregation services with Buckeye Energy Brokers, Inc.
Second,
Roll call, Tony?
No.
Vicky?
no.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to authorize withdrawal from Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council Electric Program.
Second,
Roll call. Tony?
No.
Vicky?
no,
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to enter an agreement to update, modify the custom iPhone and Android mobile application for emergency management related information with the OCV LLC.
second,
Roll call. Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes,
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to enter an agreement with boarding prisoners with the Village of Chagrin Falls.
second,
Roll call. Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes,
Sabrina?
No.
Board moves into enter an agreement of boarding prisoners for the City of Lakewood.
second,
Roll call. Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes,
Sabrina?
No.
Board moves to rename the Portage County Drug Task Force to Portage County Sheriff's Office Drug and Violent Crime Unit.
second,
Roll call. Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Thank
All
you,
right, thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
County Administrator. In accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 121.22G1, the Board of Commissioners moves into executive session to discuss the compensation of a public employee.
Second,
Roll call. Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Perfect. To the
Compensation.
compensation.
Public employee.
Now, Wendy, that question that you had, I'm gonna have to, I have no idea what new things that you guys may have seen, because most of that ended last year.
What new things?
McCafferty, that lost one of the jail. McCafferty.
Has that been settled or is
I
that?
know it's still, there's still things going on, but everything else,
Just recently happened.
I haven't heard
Did
anything.
you
So
check the dockets, Wendy, to see what, did someone write something or?
Report, or if something was.
enrolled for the county?
Was ruled, it went on appeal. And let me. see if I-
I'm surprised we weren't. aware
No,
of that.
because the last we heard was last year, and
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, we haven't heard.
then we haven't heard anything new,
And I
so.
thought that was pretty,
Yeah, motion to come.
okay. I'll make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second,
Roll call?
Sabrina?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Yes,
Their action?
no.
No action. Okay,
Yes.
and that being said, we are gonna recess until 11.
So the weather's lousy, they can't get fuel for
All right, we'll reconvene. Is there any public comment? Vicki, Tony?
No.
No, but I would like to just make a public statement, because I just looked up some information on NOPEC. And, when I looked at today's rate, NOPEC is 3 cents higher or 50% higher. They're 9.9 cents versus 6.5 cents per kilowatt than if our residents brought it straight from the utility. So optics are not good, and that's probably why that's why I voted that we should have at least, even if we ended up back from NOPEC, we should have at least looked and seen what the competition and what was out there.
Yeah, that's why I kept withdrawing from NOPEC.
Exactly, because they keep going up, and it's a variable rate, it's not fixed, but
Yeah.
I don't have anything else. Just let the record reflect that, Amy. Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Yes.